Babcock joining us from TMZ. All right, Michael, get us updated. What week are we in the trial now, and where do things really generally stand?
Yeah, so I guess technically week 3, although the first week was entirely spent on jury selection, which was a chore in its own right, finding people who were, who could view this case objectively and didn't already have a preconceived notion about it. So last week, at least for 4 days, we had Cassie's testimony. Cassie was Diddy's ex-girlfriend of like 10 years. And I think her testimony was the one that was most highly anticipated, that people were most looking towards, and what is Cassie going to say about what happened. There was the video in the hallway where she was brutalized by Diddy in 2016 in LA. But there is probably 7 or 8, maybe 9 weeks of testimony of more to come. And today you actually had someone on the stand who is sort of being used to buttress Cassie's testimony, to back up what Cassie said. And it's Dawn Richards. If that name sounds familiar, it's because Dawn was one of the members of that group, Danity Kane, which was put together and managed by Diddy. And I mean, she had some pretty explosive testimony, I thought. Personally testifying to seeing Diddy on numerous occasions get physical with Cassie, punch her, kick her. She testified too, and really harrowing stuff. And I think the bottom line and the takeaway is that a lot of people last week either said, I think the prosecution hasn't done enough here and Diddy's going to walk free, or the other way, Diddy is guilty and this is a open and shut case. The reality is there is so much left here to go. I don't think it's possible to make a determination about which way this case is going, or the jury might be leaning. It's so early, but it has been explosive so far. That is certain. Certainly the case.
It definitely sounds like some compelling testimony. But, Michael, this is what interests me. This has been going on for years. Has there been any whispers amongst that community about all this happening?
Yeah, I think over the years, and for sure over the last 3 or 4 years or so, you had begun to hear more and more people talk about some things that had allegedly happened. You heard about these freak-off parties and some of the things that happened, and where women being forced to do things that they didn't want to do. And nobody ever came out and said definitively. It was always whispering, or, this person told me that. It was never anything really in your face. And then Cassie filed a lawsuit late last year, a civil lawsuit. And that really got the ball rolling. Now, Diddy, within 24 hours, settled that lawsuit. But the bottom line was somebody had spoken out, and somebody with real prominence and gravitas to what they were saying, somebody who knows Diddy, who was respected, and that was Cassie. And her speaking out, her filing that lawsuit, that changed this. It started a police investigation, and now a year and some change later, here we are with Diddy fighting for his life on trial. And
in terms of his legal team, what has been kind of the centerpiece of their messaging and their defense thus far?
The way I would boil it all down, and I think the most simple way is that you might not agree with what Diddy and Cassie did in their bedroom, but that it was 2 consenting adults who made the decision to do what they do, and that there's no criminality here. I think that's the bottom line takeaway that they have been trying to hammer home on multiple occasions.
Michael, since we haven't really seen an answer obviously yet until this trial is done, do you still think are you seeing people in the industry kind of, get as far away as Diddy as they can in this group?
Yeah, I think Diddy's radioactive. Nobody, that's why you can look out there, find a celebrity that's had Diddy's back. They're few and far between, and realize this is a guy that's been famous for 30 plus years and knows every single celebrity under the sun, and nobody having his back right now.
Michael, I know you have a heart out, but let me ask you this before you go. I saw a promo this morning for a special you guys are running about Justin Bieber. Now, I've heard these two figures mentioned in the same sentence a lot over recent weeks as this trial unfolds. What's going on with Justin Bieber, and what's this program you guys are launching about?
Yeah, so it's on Hulu right now, and it looks into Justin Bieber's life recently. A lot of people have been really worried about some things that have been going on with him. But specifically with Diddy, they had what people thought was a friendship. They were on Jimmy Kimmel's show together years ago. They were sometimes seen out together. And a lot of people said now everything, with everything going on in the courtroom, did anything happen to Justin Bieber? Well, Justin Bieber wanted to clear that up. He said, look, no, we were friends because it made sense. I was an up-and-coming star. He was this mogul in the industry, and it was performative. It helped both of our careers. It was fake, like so many things in Hollywood. If anything, Justin had a friendship with Diddy's kids who were his age, around his age at least. And he says, look, bottom line, I was no victim of Diddy. There might be real victims out there. One of them is not me.
Okay. And where can people, once again, where can people check that out?
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way. It is on Hulu right now. So if you want to look at it, it is streaming right now.
Okay, very good. Michael, thank you so much for taking the time.
I appreciate you having me.
Bright and
Anytime,
early.
thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Michael.
From the West Coast.
Thanks, guys.